Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class of 2023. So we will recite the Mangalacharan prayers. I will share my screen. In the room, if possible, if you would like, you can recite along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. So we are going to start chapter 12. Okay. All right. You all can see. Share. Okay. Can see. Okay. Chapter 12. I hope all of you have your book with you and you're all ready for the last chapter on Bhakti Yoga, or on the section of Bhakti. And this chapter is very appropriately titled Bhakti Yoga, or devotional service. So this is the last chapter. Bhagavad Gita is divided into three main sections, six chapters each. It is 18 chapters. So 1 to 6, 7 to 12, and 13 to 18. So this is the last one in the next middle section, 7 to 12, chapter 12, which is Bhakti Yoga. Okay. So all of you, please keep your book in front of you. If possible, open your camera. But in any case, pay full attention. It's a very important chapter, last chapter in the Bhakti Yoga section. So let us move forward. So, yeah, we will cover what Arjuna asked or the last portion of chapter 11. So chapter 12 starts with a question from Arjuna. So what is that question? I want to build up that link between chapter 11 and 12. As I said, Lord Krishna's explanation of Bhakti Yoga ended where? Where did it end? Which verse number it ended? 10.11 with the Chatur Shloki. So you all can go back and revise all the lectures and everything. Yes, it takes time for Bhagavad Gita to sink in. I have been doing this for 20 years, so it's very easy. Yes, but no problem. But you should revise. Bhagavad Gita is meant to be revised a lot. It doesn't get in the first round. So, and then I said that rest of the Bhakti Yoga section, or pretty much till the end of Bhagavad Gita, is Arjun's question answers. So this chapter is also starting with a question by Arjun. I want to tell you what led to Arjun asking this question. So this is coming from the last few verses of the 11th chapter. And what Krishna was saying, please open 11.54. And what you will see in 11.54 is Lord Krishna is saying, if you remember what happened in chapter 11, the universal form was shown. Then what was shown to Arjun? Chaturbhuja, Narayana form. Then finally back to Krishna. And then Lord Krishna says that Bhaktyatva ananyaya sakya aham evam vidho Arjuna gyatum drishtum cha tatvena. This word tatvena is important. Other words are also very important. Pravishtum cha parantapa. So what Lord Krishna is saying, how to understand or know Krishna in tattva, in reality, the actual reality of who is Krishna. How to know vidho, how to get knowledge about gyatum, how to see him, drashtum, and how to enter into his kingdom, Vaikuntha, praveshtum. How to do all these things. It starts, this 54th verse starts with Bhaktya Tva Ananyaya Sakya. So by Ananya Krishna Bhakti, one can really understand Krishna. That's what Krishna says in the ending of chapter 11. What are some of the ways that do not lead to understanding of Krishna? In the previous verse, Lord Krishna is saying what? Not naham vedair na tapasa na danena na cha danena na che yajjaya. So by none of these methods, so not by Vedas, na aham vedair, by the study of the Vedas, by tapasa na danena, by dana, and by yagya, which is karma yoga. So by none of these methods can I be understood. Are you following? Or can I be seen in my two-handed form, in the Narayana form? Even the universal form cannot be seen like this. Are you following? So what is the study of Vedas called? Jnana Yoga. Tapa is Dhyana Yoga. The other two, Dana and Yagya, are Karma Yoga. So what Lord Krishna is saying, by these methods, one cannot know Krishna in essence, in Tattva. Are you following? We are just repeating the last 3 verses of previous chapter, which means as Bhagawan. That is the Tattva. Bhagawan is standing in front of him. As Narayana or as Krishna, he is standing right in front. So Lord Krishna is saying, by any of these methods, you cannot understand me. Are you following? So, but Arjuna has listened to the previous chapters. By Jnana Yoga, one understands the Brahman form. By Dhyana Yoga or by Tapa, one gets to realize or see the Paramatma. So he knows this. And now Lord Krishna is saying that by any of these methods, you cannot know me in essence. Are you following? Which means you cannot see the Bhagawan form by those methods. Yes, you can see Brahman or Paramatma, but not Bhagawan. Are you following? You with me? So Arjuna asks this question. Now comes Arjuna's question. Which is best? Okay. Which process, I should have said here, which process is best? Or which worshipper or the follower of which process is best? Best, tamaha, not better. We have discussed this 2-3 times. Let me see. What would have been the word if Arjun wanted to ask which one is better? Huh? Tara. Very nice. What is he asking instead? Tamaha. So what is the question that Arjuna is asking? Evam satata yukta ye bhakta stvam paryupasate ye chapi aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Vittamaha. Tama means the best. Which yogi is the best? Okay. And if you dissect some of the words in this verse, the upasana of who? Of tvam, of you. So that is referring to Bhagawan. He is standing right in front. Tvam. Or the avyakta form. Ye cha api aksharam avyaktam. Akshara avyakta means the impersonal form. Avyakta. Those who understand a little bit Sanskrit, or maybe it's there in your South Indian language, vyakta means to which is present in front of you, which you can perceive. That is called vyakta. Avyakta means it's not in front, it's some kind of abstract. You're following? That is the Brahman realization, the Brahman form. Or there's no form, it is formless. So that is the Brahman. So that is what Arjuna is asking, that tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Which yoga is best? Jnana yoga, basically. That was like, and Krishna already said, you cannot see me. But Arjuna's question is, okay, I cannot see you, but maybe you're not that important. Maybe Brahman is more important. So why should I not do Jnana yoga and see Brahman or realize Brahman? Okay, why should I realize you? Maybe that's going on in here. I'm making it up, but that's the question he has. Which worshipper is the best? So here clearly a ranking or some sort of like, greater than, less than sign is going to be established here. Which one is best? Are you clear? Very important question for the philosophical people, like, oh, this path or that path. And not just for, you may think it's not a question. You all may be convinced. I have met people, every month I meet somebody who asks, because there are all these other paths, all these other organizations, institutions, societies, which say that, oh, Krishna didn't exist. When Krishna says, worship me, it just means worshipping the Brahman. He is just, worship the inner Brahman within me. That's what somehow, some interpretation. If Krishna wanted to say that, he would have said there are Sanskrit words to indicate that. He would have used those words. Why is he using the words mam, aham, tvam, mama? I told you from the 7th chapter onward, these words will be used like 5 times in every verse. You can see that. So many times Krishna has used. So he could have definitely used a different vocabulary, right? So it is very clearly established, or going to be established, which one is best. So that is an important thing, important point too. So, I have these 2 cartoons here. So the Dhyana Yogi or the Jnana Yogi versus the Bhakta, who is always singing the glories of Krishna. So in this chapter, you will see Krishna will give very direct answers. No beating around the bush. Because he knows there will be people in the future who will beat around the bush. The inner self within Krishna, or this, or the light within Krishna, or this or that, all that, beating around the bush. So, okay, you cannot stop people from making stories. right? When people make stories behind your back, what is the best thing you can do? You can tell your story as straight as possible, as directly as possible. Let whoever believe or not believe, it's their problem. And Krishna gives full freedom for everybody to believe whatever they want to believe. At least he is telling in very direct, clear terms what he wants to say. You want to ignore that, you want to believe your own thing and say, no, actually Krishna meant that, not what he's directly saying. It just proves that you're the one who is, bending or mincing the words. So the point I'm making is that it is in Krishna's interest to be as direct as possible. And you will see that in this chapter. He's not going to mince words. He's going to be super direct. So here comes the first direct answer. Krishna's direct answer. Arjuna is directly saying, who is the best? Krishna will say, okay, here, So what does he say? So second verse. Mai avesha mano ye mam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetaste me yukta tamo mata. Yukta tamo mata. So Krishna is also using tamo mata. So is considered, mata means is considered to be yukta tamo, the best, or engaged in the best way. So he's also using tamo mata. Okay. What kind of person? First, Mai, me, not in avyakta. There is words, there is Sanskrit vocabulary available. He could have said, I'm just making it up, avyakta avesha manoye, one who fixes his mind on the avyakta, or avyakta aksharo mano aveshya, something like that he could have said. The words are all there in the previous verses, isn't it? What is he saying instead? What word is he using? Mai, in me. So Mai aveshya manoye, one who fixes his mind, man, on me, not on the avyakta akshara, on me. Then mam nitya yukta upasate, who is doing nitya, everyday worship of me. Just in the previous verse, Arjuna had said that cha ye cha api aksharam avyaktam. He could have used that word avyaktam upasate, and he will use that word avyaktam upasate in the coming verses. What happens to them? So he's saying mam nitya yukta upasate, who is worshipping me. How? With shraddha. With lot of shraddha he is worshipping me. Is the best. Yukta tamo. So what is Krishna saying? Krishna Bhakta is the best. That is what Arjuna asked. Who is the best? Krishna Bhakta is the best. Direct answer. No confusion?
In this phrase, when Bhagawan says my personal form, is he talking about Krishna or the Narayana or other?
Any personal form.
Any personal form.
Any personal form. But the important point is personal form. Yes. Of course, in Bhagavad Gita, he is referring to Krishna form. But any personal form. The question here is not between Krishna and Ram. That was not the question. The question was between Tvam, you, Krishna, but just 5 minutes before he showed the Narayan form. So I don't know which one, but both are personal forms. Today you are wearing blue t-shirt. Last week I don't know what you were wearing. You have not shaved today. Last week you were maybe not shaved, or you were shaved. You were maybe, whatever. So but you are the same person. It doesn't matter what color t-shirt you are wearing, whether you are shaved or not, or whatever. You are still the same person. So the question is between you as a person. If your wife says, should I love you or your photograph? That is the question. The direct person or some image or something that is belonging to that person. The Shakti, the Brahman is the Shakti of Krishna. Okay. So that is the question. Now Krishna says something about the impersonalist. He says something that, okay, you asked, I told you directly who is the best. What about those who worship the avyakta form? What about them, the impersonalist? So first of all, this impersonalist means Brahmavadis. I'm not going to go into detailed discussion. It's not Mayavadis. I hope you all understand the difference. In very brief, Brahmavadi means who worships the impersonal form of Brahma, but of Krishna as Brahman, but does not offend or does not discard the personal form. He may not know the personal form. That's okay. Ignorance is pardoned. But he does not disrespect it. He does not offend that form or offend the person who is worshipping that form, the devotee. Okay. Mayavadi means they know about the personal form, but they say it is lower. It's meant for beginners because beginners need some form like a statue or a doll. Okay, you do this. When you grow up, you don't need a doll. Then you can meditate on bright white light, Brahman. So they say you are done. You're done with Bhagawan. No more need for Bhagawan. Bhagawan, utility of Bhagawan is over. That is Mayavadi understanding, and that is an offense. You're using Bhagawan like a tool. Yesterday it was needed, today it is not needed. So that is the Mayavadi understanding. So this is talking about that is very soon leads to a demoniac propensity that we had discussed in 9th chapter. Rakshasim Asurim Bhavam, 9.11 and 9.12. So if you want, you can go back and refer to that. So what is he saying about the Brahmavadis? They also attain me at last. So it is a valid process. It's not an invalid process. The Jnana Yoga process is very much valid. And they do attain spiritual realization. They are also able to get out of the cycle of birth and death. That is 100% correct. It's not false. Okay. And what is the process? To focus the mind on, these are some of the attributes you will see here of the Brahman. Sarvatragam, it's everywhere, all pervading Brahman. Achintyam, which cannot be conceived. Now here is the problem. I'm just saying, how do you focus your mind on something which you cannot focus the mind? Achintya means inconceivable. You are being asked to focus your mind on something that cannot be focused on. It's a, what do you call it? It's a self-contradictory statement. Can you give me nothing, Prabhuji? You cannot give me nothing. It's a self-contradictory. I'm asking you to give me, but then there has to be something. So focusing the mind on achintyam. Anyway, kutastham. What is kutastham? Unchanging, which does not change, remains constant. Achalam means fixed, and dhruvam also means fixed. So immovable and fixed. Achalam, dhruvam. These are the attributes of the Brahman. And one is always a very nice person. So Jnana Yogis are not jerks. Okay, some may be jerks, but they are not real Jnana Yogis. They are pretenders. But a real Jnani, a real Tapasvi will be a very gentle person. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. He's always interested in the welfare of other people. He's a thorough gentleman. Okay? Are you good with all of this? But the question is, does Krishna say, read the verse, 2 verses, 3 and 4. Does he say anywhere that this is the best process? You can scan the whole verse. He's just saying, yes, it's a valid process, but it is better or worse. Is it there anywhere in 3 and 4? So how does it prove that it is better or worse? Yes, previous one, it has been said that is the best. So that can be one proof. How can there be better than the best? Best means best. There should need nobody above it. Here it is not being said anything. Taraha, tamaha or anything. Are you following? But the discussion is not over yet. So we will go to the next verse, 12.5. And here he has something to say. Very direct. This process is full of klesha, full of trouble, he says. Klesho adhikataras tesham. Those people, please read the Sanskrit. I am not mincing any words. Tesham mean these people. Which people? The previous two verses, obviously. Tesham. And if anybody has a doubt, Tesham, which Tesham is he referring to? The previous two, or maybe he's referring, jumping two verses, going saying, oh, these bhaktas have klesha. No, in the next line he will say, avyakta hi gatir dukham. So avyakta is also there right in this verse. So the people who are focusing or who are worshipping this avyakta form, klesho adhikataras tesham. Adhik means bahut. Kya hota hai? Too much. Bahut. Adhik matlab bahut. Too much. Full of klesha. Klesho adhikataras tesham. And then avyakta hi gatir dukkham. Read the Bhagavad Gita. It's right there. Those who worship the avyakta form, their destination is also, or their journey is full of misery. So that is what Krishna is saying. So it is very clear which one is better and which one is worse. Though both are valid processes. Same discussion, exact same discussion we had, if you remember, long time back. You have to go to the 100th floor. What are the two ways? Stairs and lift. Which one is the klesha process? Stairs. And which one is the best process? Lift, elevator. So that is the point being made. Deha vabdhir avapyate. For people in this material world. This is a fast-paced class, but if you go to the detailed version, you will see this is the word on which they play. Deha vadbhir. The other, because I look at many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita, even by the impersonalist people. They all write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. I think, how is it possible to mince this? What would you do to this verse to make it fit into your understanding? What possibly can you do? It is so direct. Every word is here. It's like damning evidence, You've been caught red-handed on camera. Like, what can you say in your defense? Are you following my point? So I look up some of those commentaries. And the whole play is on this. They have been, for the embodied one, it is difficult. For the embodied one, this process is difficult. Then I am thinking in my mind, wait a minute, I am embodied. This book is being sold in a bookshop where only embodied people will come and buy, isn't it? Would any self-realized Brahman people come and buy the book? No, they are already realized. Everybody else has a body. In the material world, does everybody have a body? So Bhagavad Gita is meant for bodied people. They say no. So if somebody who is already self-realized, if he reads Bhagavad Gita, they go into all these weird discussions. Okay, even if you take that argument, at least please tell me what is good for me. I am embodied. Okay, why are you telling me what is good for somebody who is already self-realized? He is already, he's already done. All this word jugglery, I have not found any satisfactory explanation. I'm approaching it with very open mind. With very open mind, I approach. I'm willing to agree that everything Srila Prabhupada has written is wrong. Tell me a valid alternate explanation. I know enough Sanskrit, and I have not come across any. Are you following? So that is my point. Okay. So pretty direct. Huh? There is no chance that Krishna is, leaving it. Again, he comes back to devotee. So somebody can ask, I'm telling you all the possible questions one can ask, all the possible arguments. So if you look at 12.2, where Krishna said, this is the best. It is the best. He said that. Where did he say it is not full of klesha? You can ask that. Puchne mein kya jata hai? Anything you can ask. Why are you not wearing a blue colored cap today? I can ask anything. Why don't you have a monkey on your head? Question can every question is valid, democracy hai. So if one can ask, okay. 12.2 he said it is the best. 3, 4, 5 he said it is full of klesha. But where he is saying that the other process is not full of klesha, maybe that one is also full of klesha. It may be best, but it's full of klesha. That question is also answered. You're following? So Bhakti Yoga may be the best, but is it not troublesome also? So Lord Krishna answers, no. I take the trouble out of my devotee's path. I actively remove the troubles and take it upon myself. I make it my responsibility to carry my devotee, and that too very quickly. All these points he's making in these 2 verses. So he is answering that. I remove all the roadblocks for my devotee. Who is Krishna's devotee? What is the meaning? We'll go into 6 and 7 separately. Please stay with me, okay? We are moving fast. We are already on verse number 6. Okay, we are covering all the verses at a pretty decent speed. So please stay with me, follow in the book. Who is Krishna's devotee? Mat paraha, being attached to me. So I'm going in the reverse direction. Mat paraha, offering all activities to me. Sarvani karmani mai sanyasya. Sanyasya means to give up or to offer. Mai sanyasya means giving it to me. What? Sarvani karmani, all activities. Okay. So giving up or offering all activities to me. What he does? Always thinking of me. Ananyena eva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate. Always thinking of me and worshipping me with one pointed attention. Where are all these words? Always thinking of me. Mam dhyayanta. Okay. Thinking of me, worshipping me, upasate, with one pointed attention. Ananyena eva yogena. Ananya Bhakti Yoga. Are you following? So always thinking of me, worshipping me with one pointed attention, being attached to me, offering all activities to me. That is Krishna's devotee. So this is a definition of a pure devotee. This is what the devotee does. Okay. What does Krishna do? For such a devotee, I become his carrier. Tesham means to such a devotee. Tesham, to such people, to such devotees. Aham samudharta. Very, very important verse. 12.7 is extremely important. Aham samudharta. I carry him. I lift him up. Uddharta. Uddharta means to uddhar karna. To lift him up. Tesham aham samudharta. Lift him up from where? Mrityu samsara sagarat. From this sagar, you are drowning in an ocean and then a helicopter comes to save, rescue helicopter. You might have seen in some movies. Then a rope, they drop a rope and then you catch the rope and they lift you up. Literally, isn't it? That is exactly the meaning. Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagar. From the ocean of mrityu samsara. From this material world of death. I am lifting you up. You don't have to do anything. Yes, it is pretty difficult. Drowning in an ocean with no rescue chopper. 100% agreed, it is a difficult situation. That would be klesho adhikataras. So yes, it is klesho adhikataras, but Krishna comes as the savior. Okay. For Tesham, for those pure devotees, for his devotees, he comes. And Bhavami na chirat. Quickly he comes. Na chira. Chira means, we say no chirayu. Chiranjeevi bhava. Chiranjeevi means what? Long life. Na chira means short time. Quick. Okay. So very quickly he comes, he says. Mai aveshita chetasam. those who have fixed their minds on me. For such people, he comes very quickly and he lifts them up. The rescue helicopter comes very quickly. Okay. Like here in America, you dial 911, in 5 minutes it is here, not like India, You dial, then after half an hour it will come, or may not come at all. Very quickly. I'm Indian, so I can say. Otherwise, it would be a politically incorrect statement. Okay. So very, very, again, direct. Is there any other meaning you can possibly make out of this? Tell me, use your creativity to come up with alternate meanings. It's as clear as 2 + 2 = 4. Not 4.1, not 3.9, not 5, not anything. It's pretty direct. There's just no way to twist and turn. Clear? So that is one section. So chapter 12 has 3 sections. Okay. So this is a bridge verse. So I've shown a picture of bridge. Bridge from one section to the other. So one more time the bridge picture will come. So it is a marker between, this is the first section of 12th chapter. So quick review. We'll look back and do a quick review. This process is called Simhavalokan. Simhavalokan means like a lion, After he has defeated his opponent, he goes away, but while going away, he pauses and looks back. Nobody is like plotting any surprise attack. So that is known as Simhavalokan. So we pause and look back. So what have we covered? What was the first section about? Anyone?
Arjuna asked the question about which one.
I have it, the answer.
Yes, go ahead. Who spoke?
Me, Queen. The first section is what is better, to be a Brahmavadi, the word you sort of the impersonal, the unmanifested, or to worship Krishna, like directly, Bhakti Yoga, to recognize him. And this really speaks to me. And obviously he is telling you so many times, he repeats it in these 7 verses. The best way, the elevator way, is to follow me. There is a hard way, you can take the stairs, but you should just give in and take the elevator.
Very nice. Perfect. Great summary. So now we go into so I hope everybody heard that in the room here. So now we go into the second section. So the second section is, so it makes it sound like a piece of cake, right? It's a piece of cake, right? Like she just said. That is not the case. Krishna Bhakti is not easy. Okay? It's not easy. It is the easiest, but it's not easy. Or the way I'm trying to say is, it's not easy as we perceive it easy in the material world because of our conditioning. Okay? Like for a child, not child, teenager. Okay? When he has to go 5 streets down to meet his friend, he always walks. Always. It's so easy. Like, let's go by car. Okay? I don't want to walk. I have like lost the art of walking. I mean, I walk, but I'm just exaggerating. Isn't it? How many of you can identify with that? All the middle-aged, people. Hey, let's go by car now. Why, so for someone, I mean, at an absolute level, it's so easy for some people, for their body is active. But for some people, they can't even just walk, 5 blocks. It's just very hard. It's just so easy we are so conditioned to car. Okay. The only place you will walk to is your own backyard. But anywhere else you have to go, you just go and sit in the car, drive out and go wherever you go, even if it is 2 blocks away. Isn't it? So that is the point being made. It is easy, but because of our conditioning, it has become very difficult. What is easy for us? Sit on the couch, turn your remote and start watching Netflix. And on the side, you have a popcorn machine and you press the button and popcorn comes out and you eat popcorn. That is easy. So bhakti is not that easy based on our conditioning. Are you following? Our conditioning is such that it looks difficult. It is difficult. But in the next section, the point of the next section, which will go on for 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 5 verses. This is shortest chapter, 20 verses. This is the shortest chapter of all Bhagavad Gita. Only 20 verses. There's one more chapter, which is same size, not shorter, which is the 15th chapter, also 20 verses. So these two are the shortest chapters. So this second section is just 5 verses. The purpose of this section is to show that that should not be the reason to abandon bhakti or give up bhakti, because the only other option at that point is to stay in Mrityu Samsara Sagar. There is no other easier spiritual process. It is the easiest. There is nothing easier than the easiest. But still, for us, it's not very easy. Okay, because of our conditioning. So Krishna gives us 3 levels. But if you cannot walk, you don't like walking, I get it. You have lost the art of walking. At least take a bicycle. It's not as fast and as comfortable as the car, but it is also not as, so to say, hard as walking. Take a cycle. Make some progress towards that, So Krishna gives us 3 levels depending on one's stage of advancement and seriousness. Okay. And all of it is in a spirit to encourage to take up his bhakti. That is the point. Because when Krishna will describe, or he has already described bhakti, people will say, "Hey, it is, you keep saying it is so easy, it is the best. Krishna will come and pick you up." Okay. I will say, "Okay, pick me up. I'm sitting here." So it's not like do nothing. Bhakti is not do nothing stage. There is no do nothing stage. So there is some effort, there is some dedication, some seriousness that is needed. Okay, that is the point. And Krishna is giving 3 levels. Okay, do something, no? So let us look at these 3 levels. Are you ready? 3 levels of Krishna Bhakti. These are 3 broad levels. Don't again take as, just binary, like, okay, 1, 2, 3 and nothing else. These are 3 broad categories. Within that, there can be, various, it's a gradual scale. But it can be divided into 3 broad levels in these 3 verses, 8, 9, and 10. 1 verse for each. Okay. One is the topmost is known as Raga Bhakti. I will explain what is that. Okay. Raga Bhakti. The second one is Vaidhi Bhakti. And the third one is Karma Mishra Bhakti. Okay. And then there are 2 more levels below that also. That is Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. There is no Bhakti, or there is very little Bhakti in that Karma Yoga level. And finally, Jnana Yoga level. Okay. So let us look at the 3 levels first. And Krishna will directly say this. Do level 1. He will say, if you cannot do level 1, do level 2. He will clearly say, if you cannot. Atha chittam samadhata. If you cannot do, then do this. And then he will say, if you cannot do level 2, then do level 3. He will say all those if. It's like a flow chart. If, then, else. So there's a flow chart in Sanskrit. So you will see a complete if this, then do this. Or if you cannot do this, then do this. If you cannot do that, then do this. That's what you will see. So 12.8 is the Raga Bhakti stage. Raga Bhakti means bhakti from the heart. Okay. Are you all keeping pace with how we are going? I feel we are going like at a good, fast pace. And if you are kind of feeling that you're missing out or forgetting, it is being recorded. You can come back and watch the lectures again and again, read the book and ask questions. So the first raga stage is bhakti from the heart. This is the topmost stage of Krishna Bhakti. Now again, the purists might catch me. So I have put it in gray color, not important for this class. The technicality is that when I'm saying topmost stage, it's a broad term which includes the two higher levels, bhava and prema bhakti. Okay, so there is raga bhakti. Within that is included the higher levels. I told you within that there will be sub-levels. So there is bhava, prema bhakti as well. So again, no need to get, I'm just saying this so that it is getting recorded. Somebody will say, oh, in this lecture at this marker 1 hour point, you said this, but that is wrong. I'm just saying I know that what I'm saying, and I'm just saying that I'm making a broad statement for a general beginner audience, which is what you are at this point. So this is the stage of pure love for Krishna. Raga means to love or to have a very strong attachment, not like a material attachment, but a spiritual attachment, but it is still attachment. Okay. Where one fixes one's mind and intelligence on Krishna. So if you see the verse there, you will see Mai eva manah adhatsva Mai buddhim niveshaya. So mind, the mana and buddhi, you fix it on Krishna. What does it mean? Always keep thinking how to come closer to Krishna. Always have that thought. Now you cannot make it up. Don't try to fake it. Okay? Don't try to make up don't try to artificially act or pretend in this way. It has to be natural. But this is the stage. You will know. Obviously, everybody knows in the heart if they are acting or pretending versus genuine. So in your heart, it should be genuine. And of course, Krishna knows whether you are genuine. Only two persons know, you and Krishna. So the genuine raga bhakta will always keep thinking, how can I come closer to Krishna? How can I come closer to Krishna? What will make him happy, more happy? Yesterday, this made him happy. Today, what I can do to make him happy? Does it sound like anything that you do in your material life today? What?
Day-to-day activities.
For whom?
The family.
For the family, for the kids, for your loved ones, isn't it? Do you follow any rules in that process? Do you look up a book, Prabhuji? No, there are no rules and regulations. Those become less important at this stage, isn't it? So this is the stage of Raga Bhakti. A mother does not follow rules in the process of loving her child, right? Mother or father or, some very close relationship like that doesn't need a rule book. These days, they have created a rule book also for newborn, new mothers or whatever to do. But those are just things, how to change diapers, how to feed Cerelac or this or that. But ultimately, the mother, knows how to love the child. She doesn't need a rule book. That is the Raga Bhakti stage. Are you following? But it comes from the heart. Nobody needs to tell you, and it cannot be faked. That is what is being said in 12.8. This is the highest stage. Okay. Then what Krishna says, Atha chittam samadhatum. Chitta means what? Mind. Samadhatum means to fix. Na. Atha chittam samadhatum na. If you cannot, atha means if. Na, you cannot. Samadhatum, fix. Chitta, mind. So which means if you cannot do number 8, verse number 8, then what you should do? Abhyasa yogena tato mam ichhaptum Dhananjaya. Very important verse. Okay. This is our, what I call as the S cubed. Remember, we talked a lot about S cubed. Who remembers what is S cubed? What it stands for? Who knows? Come on, shout out.
Sincere, serious, steady.
Yes. Yes. You said all three? Okay, can you repeat?
Serious, steady.
And
Steady.
steady, serious, and what's the third? Sincere. Very good. Very good. So all these three words will be here in this verse. So this is called our Vaidhi Bhakti stage. Vaidhi Bhakti means through the Vidhi. Vidhi means through a process. Okay, now you are being, given a rule book for being a mother. But that's not true. You're not a mother. At this point, you're like a nurse. It's not like your child. It is somebody else's child. That's why nurses have a very good rule book. Do you agree? Because they are looking after someone else's child. So they need a rule book because they don't have that bond, that love. A nurse will not need a book. Of professional nurse will not need a rule book once she has her own child. But to look after other people's child, she needs a rule book. That is known as Vaidhi Bhakti. When there is not such a strong love. But you should do this. And what happens as a result of this? This is very important. Let me see if I put it in the slide. Actually, I did not put it in my slides. This will only in my speaking, you will catch it. Okay. This develops the desire. Mam ichhaptum. This develops the desire to go to the first level. To go to the first level from anywhere below. The first, I think I put it, I remember putting it somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Maybe it will come. I remember writing the slides. But the most important thing, or not the most important, the first step in going to this highest level is to have a very strong desire to go to that level. Okay. So, mam ichhaptum, like this, you will develop the desire to attain me, which means, and how to attain? Through the first level. So what that means is mam ichhaptum, very important word. That through this process of Vaidhi Bhakti, you can go to the higher level. That is exactly what Krishna is saying. If you cannot do that, then do this. The meaning is, then you will come to the next level. Okay. So,
what is Bhakti?
Vaidhi Bhakti means by rules, Vidhi, Vidhan.
So it's like offering.
Yes, yeah, I will explain what it could look like. It can be a pretty thick rule book. The 9 processes are a very nice way to say it. Navdha Bhakti, Vidha Bhakti. The word Vidha or Vidhi is right there in that. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, and Atma Nivedanam. I have done a whole class on Shravanam and Kirtanam. Those are the 2 most important for all of us, especially in Kali Yuga. These 2 are the most potent. Shravana and Kirtana. I did a whole 2-hour class on this. It's already on the YouTube channel. You should listen to that. Okay. The details, minute details of how to do, what to do Shravana and Kirtana of, how to do it. So that is Vaidhi Bhakti. Okay. So how to get to the Raga Bhakti stage? First, it requires the Vaidhi Bhakti stage, the triple S, and there is one more S, which will come later. Okay. So it requires this triple S stage. What is this triple S? Seriousness. Seriousness means seriousness about the goal. So you must have a desire to develop the desire. I'm telling you because I have myself gone through this process. I can tell you. the desire to have a desire. One has to desire Krishna. Like the pure devotees, like all the gopis and all, they are always looking, where is Krishna? Why did he leave Vrindavan? They are the topmost devotees. They are always desiring Krishna. हमको क्या मतलब है यार, कृष्ण गए तो गए, ठीक है, हम अपना इधर खुश हैं. We are happy. I don't care if Krishna left. That is our situation. So we do not even have a desire to desire Krishna. So that mam ichhaptum is the seriousness about the goal. That I want to develop that desire. To desire Krishna. Then there is sincerity. And we said seriousness is about the goal. Sincerity is in the practice. That is abhyasa. Abhyasa yogena tato. So by doing abhyas, daily abhyas, sincerity in practice. And then steadiness or dedication, sthiram, you will see. Na shaknoshi mai sthiram. If you are not steady, that is being used in the not sense. Okay, atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram. If you are not steady, and if you are not able to fix your mind steadily on me. So sthiram is absent. It's being used in the absent connotation, which means it need to be present. So that is the third S, steadiness, sthiram. So develop these things, and these things comes through rules and regulations. So daily sadhana, our daily practices need to be very strong. Every day, you can say, for beginners, you can say half an hour of kirtana, japa I will do. If you are musically oriented, take another half an hour and do kirtan. Very nicely you can do. Every day, try to read 1-2 hours Srimad Bhagavatam. Sincerely try to read and try to understand. Not passively. Okay, Prabhuji said every day I have to hear Bhagavatam. Okay, YouTube, Bhagavatam, play. Something is going on in background. That is good, better than, some pop music going on. But still it is, don't make it a passive thing. Yes, I'm doing. Don't kid yourself that I am doing checkbox. It's not a checkbox. If you can, in your heart, after stopping 1 hour lecture or something, Bhagavad Katha, if you are asked, like, do a Simhavalokan, like Queen very nicely summarized the section. If this lecture you have put Zoom like a passive radio, you cannot summarize it like that. You should be able to summarize. That is a test. All the important points. If you feel sometimes you blank out, right? Stop, rewind, and listen again if you are hearing, or you can read. So, in Bhagavatam is the most potent book that you can read, and it's pretty big. So you won't, it's not like you'll run out of it very soon. So all these are Shravanam, Kirtanam. I will just focus on those as part of Vaidhi Bhakti. There are 5 processes. Another 2 are visiting holy places. Once a year, now COVID is over, so you can travel. Once a year, go to the holy places. There's a lot of energy that you can get. I have seen this personally in my life. And everybody has so many devotees we know. They go, and you need to know the right things to do, not like a tourist mentality. So you have to prepare to go. There's preparation needed, like going on a space trip. You don't just stand up and say, oh, today I want to go to space. Maybe that day will come in the future, but as of today, you have to do a lot of preparation to go to space. So like that, you have to do 3-4 months of preparation in terms of your consciousness, in terms of your reading, in terms of preparing your heart to go to a holy dham like Vrindavan, Dwarka, Ayodhya, all these places. So that is the other. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, then Tirtha Darshanam. And the other one is Murti Seva. Means have a deity in your home. You must again have know the rules and processes. You cannot, get up in the morning in your pajamas and, without taking a bath or shower. You cannot just go and do worship of deity. You have to, take a shower, wear clean clothes and worship the deity. And there's a process. To your baby, even without shower, you can feed, because then it is like raga. Baby will not say, oh, you have not taken shower. I will not drink milk from your hands. So when you go to raga stage, things are totally different. It doesn't mean that you can start doing bad things. Okay, don't take it that way. But that level of love is so deep that these rules take a backseat. But for a beginner, till a very long time, these rules matter a lot. So 4 things you can do: Shravana, Kirtana, then Tirtha Darshana, and Murti Seva. Murti Seva is also within the 9 processes. It's known as Archana, doing Archana of the deity. Okay. So all these 4, and there are more also, but very practical level you can do these. Okay. So that is Vaidhi Bhakti. Now, if you cannot do that, 12.10, Abhyase api asamartho asi. Asamarth kya hota hai meaning? Asamarth. Unable to. That is what Krishna is saying. Now again, else loop in the flowchart. Abhyase api asamarth. If the previous abhyas, what I told Krishna is saying in the previous verse. If you cannot do that, then do sacrifice. We will talk about it. So you can, okay, anyway, on the slide, I just wanted to complete this. So you keep doing, so coming back to this, I just want to finish this slide. Before coming to the raga stage is second nature. That at that point, you are like a mother to a child. You don't need a book. Like it's just instant, automatic reaction of a mother to a child. Mother knows what child wants, isn't it? So then it becomes second nature. That is the raga stage. Till then, keep doing Vaidhi Bhakti. Now, if you cannot do Vaidhi Bhakti, then do Karma Mishra Bhakti. What is that? That is what we were on, 12.10. If you cannot practice that Vaidhi Bhakti, then work for me. Mat karma paramo bhava. Mat karma. What does it mean? Sacrifice doing what you like. Mat karma, do my work. Do what I want you to do. There is a difference. There's a big difference between 12.10 and 12.11. 12.11, Krishna will say, do whatever you want to do. Just give up the attachment to the results. Are you following? That is not bhakti. I mean, there is an element of bhakti because Krishna is saying you do it, so you do it. So there is that bhakti. Chalo bhai, Krishna ne bola hai, chalo kar dete hain. Itna to kar sakte hain. Baki first 3 stages I cannot do. Chalo 4th and D grade. A grade nahi mila, B grade nahi mila, C nahi mila. Chalo D is also pass. At least fail to nahi hue. Hai na? So D grade. So again, not D, but it's also very high to give up the result, attachment to results, very, very high. So I don't want to make it sound like it's like a bad thing. Okay, so the difference here is doing what Krishna wants you to do. So you are such a person who wants to do things. You are always in the doer, like I need activity. Okay, do what Krishna wants you to do. You cannot sit down and read Bhagavatam. Maybe reading is not your cup of tea. Doing japa is not your cup of tea. Your mind is just too what do you say, too unstable or whatever, too wandering, huh? Distracted, yes, very nice. So you need some engagement. Okay, do what Krishna wants you to do. So then the question becomes, what does Krishna want me to do? So Krishna tells through our acharyas, through the saints, through our inner heart, many ways he can say what to do. So in the temple, for example, you can do cleaning. Okay, you cannot sit and read Bhagavatam, you cannot sit and do japa, you can, clean the dishes, cook some prasadam. Many people like cooking. Chalo, at least cook for Krishna. Try as much as possible not to think, oh, after half an hour I will get to eat this. So at least cook for Krishna. Make a garland for Krishna. Get in a group of people, you can have nice Krishna katha while you are making a garland. Whatever. There are so many things you can do for Krishna, but you are sacrificing doing what you like. So you are giving your interest and your time and your effort, your talent to do Krishna's work. So that is the third stage. Okay, again, here their number of rules and all are lesser. So do his work. That's what he's saying. For his pleasure, mad artham, he says. Mad artham api karmani. Mad artham means my. What we do is swa artham. Mere, for me. Artha means for benefit. So Krishna is saying mad artham. For my pleasure you do. So this third level is the least change to one's lifestyle. It is still a change. You have to change your work, but at least you are still engaged in doing something. People just need some engagement. Okay? So do that. And Srila Prabhupada has given in the purport some examples, There are many devotees. He says there in the purport, one should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. Many devotees who are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness are engaged in the propagation of Krishna consciousness, and they require help. So even if one cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, labor, etc. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. That is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for the propagation of Krishna consciousness. Or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. Okay, so this is Krishna's work. Okay. Once you read Bhagavad Gita, you can try to see who is a good devotee. May not be, it's very hard to find a pure devotee, Shuddha Bhakta, but you can find somebody who is much more advanced than us, genuinely, sincerely trying to expand or make progress in his own Krishna consciousness and trying to spread Krishna consciousness genuinely, not for his own name and fame. So try to make out that and try to ask them, you seem like a sincere person, how can I help you? Not help you as in personally for your help, but how can I help you in your service to Krishna? That becomes Krishna's work. Okay, because you may not know what to do for Krishna, and you are not lucky enough that Krishna will directly come and tell you. So you ask such people, what can I do? That is equivalent to doing Krishna's work. Okay, so that is 12.10. Clear? This is the least change to one's lifestyle. Then finally, if you cannot do that, then again Krishna says, Atha etad api asakta asi. If you cannot even do this, chalo bhai, next level, then just keep doing what you are doing. If you cannot change what you are doing, keep doing what you are doing. The other thing is give up the attachment to the results. Sarva karma phala tyagam. Pretty straightforward. Sarva karma phala tyagam. So no change is needed not even a single change is needed to the lifestyle, but change is needed in the consciousness. You following? To give up the attachment to the results. So finally, what Krishna says is that this I did it mentality need to be cancelled. Wherever that I comes, that need to be cancelled and replace it with Krishna. In the first 3 levels, it was all about Krishna. And therefore, there was an element of sacrifice that was involved. In all the other processes, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, etc., have an element of self-approval. I did it. You do it on your own merit. So there is that pride. I did it. So the point is to not try to remove the motivation completely. Give up the I did it. You will never be able to do that. Or it's very hard. That's the path of Jnana Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, to give up that I. Instead, you still use the word I. As you can see here, me is there in this. Can you see this me word here? You say, Krishna found me worthy to make me an instrument to serve him. So you still do work. You don't have to completely make the motivation zero. That's very hard. Keep it some tangible thing, but shift the focus from yourself to Krishna. Okay. So just say, I am a servant of Krishna. I am a humble servant, not I am the best servant. Then again it becomes I. I am a humble servant of Krishna. That is one's, on that one can sustain his, all his, that is the source for one's inspiration and motivation. Okay. So that is what is being said in number 12. So this is the ending of the second section. And now again, we are at a bridge to the third section. So now we are really coming to the end of the Bhakti Yoga section of the 12th chapter. 12th chapter was the last chapter in Bhakti Yoga section. And now we are in the last section of the last chapter of this section. So that is from verse numbers 13 to 20. Okay. 8 more verses. Fine. So I will pause here and see, are there any questions before we get into this? So let us see. Okay, there are some questions. So one question is, he mentions that Arjuna is a winner of wealth. Dhananjaya, that is the word that is used in 12.9. Is this something to notice? No, it's just the name of Arjuna, Dhananjaya. Dhana Anjaya. Dhan means wealth. Dhananjaya means winner of wealth. And Bhakti Yoga can be hard because of Dhana. So Dhan just means what you own. Okay. So yes, Arjuna was a kingly person. He was from the kingly dynasty before he was robbed of his kingdom. So that's the name that is given. That's point number 1. Plus Dhana, it does not just mean property or the material wealth. One also has Prema Dhana. Prema dhan means the wealth of love for Krishna is also called dhan. So the word that is used is Dhananjaya, 12.9. If you see, Abhyasa yogena tato mam ipchaptum Dhananjaya. So the literal meaning of Dhananjaya is winner of wealth. But it could mean various kinds of wealth. Okay. Like a mother can be very poor, but can also be very rich. You remember all that the dialogue, मेरे पास गाड़ी है, बंगला है, तुम्हारे पास क्या है? What does he say? मेरे पास माँ है. So it's bigger than Gadi Bangla. I hope you're following those who watch 1970s movie. I can't remember which movie it was in. So that is Dhananjaya. Okay. Where does one find Vaidhi guide? Okay, so I already told you the 4 things that you can do. And many devotees have written books, little Vaidhi guides. I can show you one here. There's right here, there's one book. You can see this. A beginner's guide to Krishna consciousness. I'm just, there are so many little books that are available. A beginner's guide, it tells a whole bunch of, hey, I just opened a page and it says here, reading spiritual literature. Do you see that? I mean, there are all kinds of books available within our society, ISKCON, and you can oh, there's another one, deity worship. I told about Murti Seva. So you can see here, deity worship. So you can, guide, literally guides are available. You can, you can watch that lecture on Shravanam and Kirtanam. The best thing you can do is to do japa, which we do here after the class for 8 minutes it takes for one round of japa. Hare Krishna Mahamantra Jap. Do 4 rounds every day. Takes half an hour. 7.5 minutes times 4 is 30 minutes. 30 minutes you can spend, no? You spend 30 minutes talking to your friends. Just a phone call takes 30 minutes. So you talk to Krishna for 30 minutes. That is japa. Read Bhagavatam for another 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Okay. So that is very simple form of Vaidhi guide. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, you can think of more questions as they come. So we will continue. So now this is the end of Bhakti Yoga section, last section. And Krishna wants to complete the whole loop, what has been discussed. So being a devotee or a Krishna Bhakta or doing Krishna Bhakti does not mean one forgets chapter 2 to 6. It doesn't mean that we can completely erase chapter 2 to 6. Now a bigger, let us see who remembers. Not just what we covered in last chapter, but what we covered so many chapters ago, 2 to 6. What were some of the main contents, main essence of all those chapters?
Forms of yoga.
Yeah, different forms of yoga, but the essence is?
Karma yoga.
Okay, Karma Yoga. What? Something more like?
The soul, Atma, is indestructible.
Okay, that is theory. At a practical level. Detachment, very nice. Actually, I also have that first thing. Detachment from fruits and results, isn't it? So many other things were there. Being good to everyone, non-envious. Exactly. Equipoised. Tolerance, contentment, being content with what you have. All that was part of those chapters. Like you said, no, free of duality. At a bodily level, heat and cold, gold and stone, those are bodily things. Mind things, win and lose, honor, dishonor. अरे मेरे को ये बोल दिया उसने. Oh, dekh lunga usko main. All this honor, dishonor, win, lose mentality. Isn't it? All this was big part of the first 6 chapters. So one should not forget those things. Those all still apply, but here is a twist. Very big twist is coming. Love for Krishna is above all of these. But one should not forget those things. Okay? So the question is, okay, why? Why should a bhakta be a good person to others? We discussed all those are good things, no? Being tolerant, content, having no win-lose mentality. Wouldn't it be good to have such friends? You may not be like that, but isn't it good to have other people be like that? Well, guess what? They also think the same about you. Isn't it? So if everybody, the whole society is like that, it will be a wonderful society. But that was not the focus of the bhakti section. We didn't talk about it much. Isn't it? We only talked about focusing our mind on Krishna. And then one can say, yes, I am focusing on mind on Krishna, and hell with you. Who are you? Being a jerk, being mean to others, or not mean, but dry, very cold-hearted, not caring for others. Krishna says, no, don't do that. Why? That is the big question. What is the why? The why you see here is the big question. Why should a bhakta be a good person if the whole focus has been to think of Krishna, to be dear to Krishna, to love Krishna? If that has been the focus, why should I care about anybody else? So Krishna very, very, very beautifully connects these points. So please open your books. Everybody open your Bhagavad Gita. And go to verse number 13. Okay. Verse number 13, 12.13. Are you all there? 13, 14 is together. What are the last 4 words of that verse, of the 14th verse? Yo mad bhaktah sa me priyah. Okay, just stay with that. I will explain. What it means is that such a mad bhakta, such a devotee of mine, sa me priyah, is very dear to me. Okay. Okay, next page, next verse. 15. What are the last few words? Mukto yah sacha me priyah. Such a person is very dear to me. Next verse, 16th. Yo mad bhaktah sa me priyah. Okay, number 17. Number 17. Bhaktiman yah sa me priyah. 17. 18, 19. Bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Such a bhakta is dear to me. And then 20. Bhakta ste ativa me. Ativa means very, very. Ativa me priya. Do you see how many times Krishna is repeating? And what is he repeating? He's clearly repeating himself, isn't it? What is he saying?
Bhaktas are very near to
Huh?
Those bhaktas are very
Those bhaktas. Now, which bhaktas?
the one who are nice to everybody.
Exactly. The ones who are nice to everybody else. So why should a bhakta be good to another person, to other persons? Isn't that supposed to be the job of a jnana yogi or dhyana yogi? What does bhakta yogi has to do with it? His job is to be good to Krishna, not to others. That is someone else's job. But so why is a bhakta good to others? Because doing so will please Krishna. Because Krishna is saying, you be good to others, that will make me very happy. Okay, fine. Because of that reason, I will be good to others. Are you following? So Krishna is saying, now I have, my pure devotees are only thinking about me. They will only do those things which please me. But I want them to be good to others. So let me say it directly. Please be good to others. I will be very happy if you do that. Now a bhakta has no choice. Now he has got this message clearly, repeatedly he has got, like I said, sa me mad bhakta me priyah here. So Krishna has hammered the message that you must also be good to everybody else. I will be super happy if you are good to everyone. So a bhakta is also good to everyone, but his motivation, the difference is love for Krishna is the motivating factor, not because I need to get spiritual realization by Jnana Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. If I be a jerk, if I be a mean person, I will lose my spiritual prize. No, not for that reason. Love for Krishna is the reason that if I don't be a good person to others, Krishna will be disappointed in me. And that is unbearable to me. So I will be good to others. Okay? So a bhakta is impeccable. Bhakta's behavior is impeccable. His motivation for being a good person is entirely different from others. He knows that Krishna will be happy if I am good to others, so he is impeccable. But at the end of the day, he is impeccable. His behavior is impeccable. He is not doing it for his own name and fame or to get moksha. He is not doing it for taking pride in his own ability. The only reason he is doing so is to become dear to Krishna. That is why he's a good person. So can you now see it is an act of love for Krishna why one is being good to others? In these 8 verses, Krishna has clearly established, if you be good to others, I will be happy. So be good to others. So let us read those 8 verses. Please take 4 minutes, 3 minutes and read through those 8 verses. And you will see all these aspects covered here in what I wrote here. Detachment, being good to everybody, non-envious, tolerance, contentment, equipoised, free from duality. All these things are mentioned there, which is a summary of the first 6 chapters. But we are doing it, or bhakta, Krishna bhakta does it because Krishna said so, not because it is a good thing to do. If Krishna said, if you beat others, I will be happy. If he had said that, the bhakta would certainly go and beat others. Anything for Krishna. That is what Arjuna did. He went and killed people. That's what Mahabharata war from Arjun's standpoint is all about. Earlier, he was hung up with, what will happen to me? I will not get moksha. That is the whole discussion of chapter 1. Then Krishna says, shoot this unarmed fellow Karna. Arjuna says, yes, sir. Anything that makes you happy, I will do. That is bhakta. But Krishna doesn't say that in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is for us. He doesn't say go kill unarmed people. Okay? Krishna is saying exactly the opposite for all of us. So please read those and you will see how we should behave. See, the first word itself is adveshta, sarva bhutanam. Adveshta means no hatred. Maitrihi, maitraha means friendly. Karuna, compassionate. Right? Nirmamo, nirmama means no mama, mine. No, nirmama. Nirahankara. Sama dukha sukha kshami. Sama dukha sukha. Equal in sama, in dukha and sukha. Kshami means forgiving. Kshama, kshami. Santushtaha Satatam Yogi. Santushta means satisfied. Okay. Am I still audible on the Zoom? Okay.
To be all this way itself, so difficult. So is it not something that you will need all of the here wisdom from chapter 2nd to 6th to be followed, be that way?
Well, it is.
Why we do it is one thing, right? So that Krishna will love us.
Mhm.
But to be able to even attain that.
So I think what Prabhu is asking is, which comes first? Love for Krishna or being a good person? And both are hard, isn't it? So, very good question. So the answer is, it is an iterative process. One must put in some effort to be a good person, because he knows that I must do Krishna Bhakti, I must generate that love for Krishna, or the desire for the love for Krishna, or the desire for love of Krishna, I must generate, like we discussed today. And Krishna is saying this is one of the factors. So you do this, you do your activities of bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti. I'm assuming we are all convinced about doing Vaidhi Bhakti, not just working for Krishna. That was also included. You have to do some work. 24 hours a day, you cannot do Vaidhi Bhakti. I said half an hour of japa, 1 hour of Bhagavatam, another half an hour of Murti Seva, maybe 2 weeks or 1 month in a year you can go for Tirth Yatra. There is a lot of remaining time in your hands, isn't it? 11 months are there here in Portland. 1 month you go, fine. Within 11 months, only 2 hours I have accounted. Half an hour japa, half an hour Murti Seva, 1 hour Bhagavatam. So you have still 22 hours. So you can do work for Krishna in the meantime. But this is Vaidhi Bhakti. I'm assuming we are doing at least this much. So that, and then in the remaining 22 hours, we know we are investing our 2 hours of time in this. We are serious about the goal. The first S, serious about the goal. So I must also be in my dealings good with other people. And that changes the heart, that softens the heart. Then reading of Bhagavatam, doing the japa makes more impact on our heart. And then Krishna sees this fellow is making really, an attempt. That Vaidhi part, the rules part he's doing. Plus the rest of the time he's also, trying to follow whatever I said in Bhagavad Gita. Let me go help him. And then he accelerates this process. So it is like a virtuous cycle. It's an iterative process and one feeds the other. Otherwise, one eats into the other. You may be doing your 2 hours of Vaidhi Bhakti, but then your mind is just completely so unsettled because of all the enviousness and all the other stuff in your heart, that it dampens the effect that the Vaidhi Bhakti has had. And then Krishna also looks and sees, yeah, he is doing this one, but what about the other part?
And this he needs more time.
he needs more time, then Krishna will, put some, he will, if you're doing this seriously, he will, he might do something to shake you out of that situation. Sometimes we then say, oh, why did this happen to me? If you're being too envious, too mean to others, something, Krishna might send a message to make you, sometimes like for a, rebellious child, you have to, ground him sometimes. Time out, isn't it? Okay. So does that answer your question? Okay.
Can you give some examples of Raga Bhakti?
Give examples of Raga
I'm
Bhakti.
trying to see the difference between them. When we do Vaidhi Bhakti, we do with love. So is it not?
No. Okay, there may be initial stages of love. Some love may be there, but the deep love is not there, like a nurse caring for a baby or a nanny. Okay, that love is there. Some love is there. Yes. But it's not like the love of a mother. So it's not correct to say that the love is there. Love is getting generated. Okay. So you said some example.
I'm trying to see how it is different,
How it is different. So like the gopis of Vrindavan are the best example of Raga Bhakti. They didn't follow any rules. They went in the night even to meet Krishna. Okay, not in the daytime, for example. Anything they are willing to do for Krishna. Anything. No rules. And whatever will help Krishna, whatever will be. There is a very nice story, for example. One time, Krishna was having a headache. Have you heard this story? Krishna's headache? A spiritual headache. Krishna cannot have a headache. But so, I think Narad Muni asked Krishna. I'm just making up part of it because I don't remember. What is Raga Bhakti? Like you were asking. Krishna said, okay, let me show him what is Raga Bhakti. Okay. So he pretended to have a headache. Oh, my head. Migraine. He said, oh, Krishna, what happened? Did my question give you a headache? I said, yes. Very difficult question you asked. What can relieve your headache? The dust of the feet of my devotee. If you put on my head, it will cure. Narad Muni thinks, who is the devotee of Krishna? Brahmaji is a good devotee of Krishna. If he goes to Brahmaji, he said, Krishna is having a headache. Oh, is it? What can we do to relieve the headache? He said, I need dust from your feet, from your shoes. Can you give me some of your shoe dust? I will put it on Krishna's head. His headache will be gone. What? I'm not going to give my shoe dust to, no, sorry. Because they were in this mode of rules, Oh, my dust from my shoes putting on Krishna's head? No. So they said, no, you go to Lord Shiva. He will give. He's already covered in ashes. You can take some dust. Shivji says, can I have some ashes from your feet? He said, no. I cannot give. So then he says, oh, now nobody is left. I will now only have to go to Vrindavan to the gopis. We went to the gopis, said, your Krishna is having a big headache. Arey, what happened? So they were all sitting near a pond. The feet were very clean. Dust from your feet. Acha, dust from my feet, but our feet are clean. So they immediately ran to the muddy area, made their feet very dirty, took all the dust and gave to Narad Muni. Take it. If you want more dust, we can give more dust. Then Narad Muni says, aren't you scared you will go to hell? Your dust from your feet will touch Krishna's head. Who cares if I go to hell or not? Krishna's headache should be relieved. I can go to hell, no problem. That is Raga Bhakti. An example of very high level, but again, there are so many examples. If you see, you should read. This is where, now that is from the scriptures, and various acharyas have written, visualized in their heart that these leelas occurred, and they write about it for our understanding. But their lives themselves are an example. This we cannot relate to. I cannot relate. Okay, Narad Muni is not going to ever come to me to ask the dust of my feet. Okay, so this sounds like a little bit far. So that's why we must read the life of our saints. And most of the saints, most of the Vaishnava saints are the Raga Bhaktas. So here I have a whole shelf full of, this whole shelf is full of lives of various saints. So here I have this book called The Goswamis of Vrindavan. There are 6 Goswamis. There's a whole book. You read these things. Again, this requires some effort. Instead of reading Harry Potter or other, whatever latest novels that you find in Costco, on that center table, or the latest politics by Donald Trump and whoever else, what's that guy? Ron DeSantis. Instead of reading all that garbage, you can, read this and you will understand what is Raga Bhakti. It takes effort. You are asking a good question. The answer is not something that can be given in 1 minute or even 1 hour. You attend various classes, you will understand what is Raga Bhakti. So many examples are there here. This is another wonderful saint, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur. His whole life is here. I have organized this shelf by kind of category. Another book is here, Sri Vamsi Das Babaji, pure Raga Bhakta. Raga, now Vaidhi Bhakti means you have to, every day go take a bath, cut your hair. Have you seen any sannyasi with long hair? They're supposed to have shaven head. He has such long hair, but he's topmost devotee of his time. Vamsi Das Babaji. They're all Raga Bhaktas. Another very recent in 1900s, Jayananda Thakur. He has a shaven head, looks much cleaner and nicer. Also Raga Bhakta. So you have to understand, you have to internalize, you have to read. Okay. Another great devotee, Babaji Maharaj. This is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, the Guru of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who is the Guru of Srila Prabhupada. So you can say the grandfather Guru of Srila Prabhupada. Are you following the sequence? I have, gone around for last 20 years. This is my collection,
So this Babaji is considered immortal, right?
No. He has left his body. I mean, soul is immortal.
Yeah,
And
of
he's
course.
Nitya Siddha. So he's, spiritual. Yeah. This is not that Mahavatar Babaji from the impersonal
Okay,
side.
I was confusing with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay. So whole bookshelf is full. Another book, The Saints of Bengal. And this is just one small bookshelf. There are thousands of other books. On the western side, there is Sant Tukaram. Great devotee. So you must read, you will get more practical example. More examples which you can get direct, some things that you can apply directly in your life. Okay, does that answer your question, Prabhu?
Definitely.
Very nice. Okay, other questions? Anything else? Otherwise, we will end here. If there are no more questions. So yeah, Vikas Prabhu last week had some question, another follow-up, but I don't see him here. So I will take up his question when he is attending. Anything else? So that is 12th chapter done. Okay. So next week, are we having class?
Next week will be a special guest. Harivamsha.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Next week, we have special guest. Very special guest. His name is Harivamsha Dasa. So he will be here on Sunday evening when you may not, and topic will not be Bhagavad Gita. So basically it will not be Bhagavad Gita class, but it will be a devotional class. Very advanced devotee. Very young, much younger than me, almost 15 years younger than me, maybe like 35 or something. But had a very, very, very successful career. He's a BTech from IIT Bombay, PhD from Stanford, became a faculty at Stanford, then at IIT Bombay and TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. And then a few years back, he gave it all up and now lives full-time in Vrindavan. And there he's studying the Shastras and doing translation work.
Like how we say, read Bhagavatam for 1 hour, he's like doing that full time.
Full-time he's reading. So it takes some commitment, to give up such a bright career. Such a bright career. For those of you who might know, IIT JEE, his JEE rank was number 4. So he's like a celebrity of his time. So such a, he could have got whatever he wanted materially in his life. So I have invited him and he will give a few talks. So it will be nice to hear him.
At the same time.
We will see according to his schedule and everything, but somewhere in the evening. Yeah, we have to adjust our schedule to match there. When people like this come, we have to, put away other things. If Amitabh Bachchan was coming, we would say, okay, I have to see him or whatever. Whoever is the latest star, I don't know. LeBron James, whoever, I don't know. Virat Kohli. Oh, okay. Clear the schedule.
He's here for 3 days, not just Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
One of the programs will most likely be here, but other two may
Somewhere
happen here
around.
or somewhere else. We will see.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we will close the call. Am I forgetting anything? So no class, no official class next week. On next week?
So maybe probably will not have.
We'll see. We'll keep you all informed.
Yeah, we'll take it when we
Some
get
visiting
time.
devotees are coming to Portland, so we will be doing that. But it's good that we completed the Bhakti Yoga section, so we are at a logical point. All right. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.